It's physics, math, and engineering. Machine it, draft it, build it, test it, break it. Draco was one of the most hyped up planes that ever came out back in 2021. Everybody and their mom heard of Mike Patey's signature achievement. Well, maybe not your mom, but it's 2023, and where does Draco stand now? Horizon sent Draco to us a while back. I was on a call with my Horizon rep and asked them to send it over because I figured that it's a high-wing bush plane and there's no way that it's gonna suck. And I was right. It doesn't suck, and in fact, it sucks a lot less than airplanes purpose-built to not suck. You'll hear a lot about wing loading or it being too heavy or whatever, but it's not meant to fly in close quarters. It's meant to look awesome and fly well under the circumstances that most RC pilots find themselves flying in. And it doesn't even fly like it's heavy, it stalls like a feather, even if you hold elevator pressure and keep forcing it to stall out. Draco is a big bird that handles like a big baby. It's fun as hell to fly and is super forgiving. Some people, myself included, get so caught up in how heavy an airplane is that we end up forgetting just how much fun a heavier airplane can be. It isn't going to be doing stall turns in a forest, but it will tromp through high grass and hover like it was designed to be a helicopter. And it's a tank too. If you end up hovering it and mess up, you'll probably fix it, because I messed my Draco up earlier this year and pulled it together with some foam tack and red electrical tape. I tried ripping the wings off in flight by loading them up as hard as I could, and it just shrugged it off and kept flying. I set my Draco up using my standard technique for all of my airplanes, which is to unlock the AR637TA receiver, set it up for 100% rates and 150% servo travel, 30% expo on aileron, 50% on rudder and elevator. Unlocking the receiver also got rid of the pre-programmed aileron to rudder mix, which forces you to use rudder in turns because Draco has more adverse yaw than almost anything you've ever flown before. I can't say that I get as excited as Brian Phillips with thrust reverse, but I do have to admit that it's a super cool function that's baked into the Avian ESC if you're flying with a Spectrum transmitter. Just like, remember to use it, okay? Because I forgot to and ended up scraping a wing. But all cosmetic damage can be fixed with some paint or, my personal go-to, red electrical tape. It's cheap foam armor. Try it. You might join Team Electrical Tape and start taping up everything to protect it. While there's contentious debates in the RC flying community about how much wing loading is too much to be the square root of the stall speed while side-slipping through piles of dog dew on the way to a greased landing, I'll say that you should definitely consider running a lighter pack, just for brevity's sake. A 4000 Spectrum pack, or your preferred battery of choice, will get you at least 5 minutes of spirited flying and even let you hover easily. Do note though that the heavier the battery, the worse Draco will stall and the harder it'll be to get it to stop stalling. A 4000 pack handles great. Go higher if you care more about flight times than you do about handling and maneuverability. I prefer the trade-off being pushed towards lighter wing loads given the design of what the model already carries, but there's a place for all kinds of flying. But you're almost never going to hear me talk up the benefits of bigger batteries on models like this though. If something stalls in this narrow corridor that I fly in, I want to be able to pull out of it without worrying too much about it hitting a tree. If you have a bigger area, fly a bigger battery. If you want to hover a lot and do other goofy acro like me, fly a 4000 class pack. You'll thank me later. I mentioned in our last upload that I don't review aircraft based on criteria that they were never designed to hit. I don't think that it's fair to do that, and I don't think that it represents the airplane in a way that most pilots would fly it. Our reviews have always been based on how we think an average pilot would see the plane, so the upcoming review score isn't based on extreme acro, because Draco isn't supposed to hover. Draco isn't supposed to knife edge spin. Draco isn't supposed to flat spin, tumble, or do any of the other maneuvers that you've been seeing so far. It's meant to fly slow, take off quickly, and slam into the ground with reverse thrust, and it does what it was designed to do very well, but it does hover, and it does knife edge spin, and it flat spins and tumbles and does exceptional inverted Harrier passes, and even does really good flat turns. Yes, Draco is a very good flying airplane, but it's more than just that. It's capable of a variety of post-stall maneuvers, which make me give it a much higher rating than I would give most airplanes of this type. It's a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me, not just because it does what it was meant to do well, but because it does so much else so well that it would be irresponsible to undersell just how amazing the airframe really is. The only thing holding it back from a solid 10 out of 10 is the way it handles on pavement. You won't be doing any wheel landings with Draco unless you're exceptionally skilled at managing a plane that loves bouncing more than it loves rolling. I lose track of how many times it bounces when I try to wheel land it. Flaps down, flaps up, mid-throttle, low throttle, high throttle, it doesn't matter. It will not settle in on the mains. Do a 3-point landing to minimize the bounce and you should have no problems. Or go in the comments and tell me how much I suck because I clearly can't figure out wheel landings with Draco. A major downside to consider with Draco is that it rolls exceptionally slow. I was super hesitant to perform any inverted flying with it on the maiden day during our first upload because the roll rate is terrible, as you would expect for a plane with massive ironing boards for wings. If you add rudder in the direction of the roll, it'll improve a bit. If you add elevator to make a snap roll, it'll spin like crazy, but you have to be skilled enough to both predict where it will stop spinning and be quick enough on the rudder to keep it aligned on the snap exit to keep from losing control momentarily. But this is an option to get more roll because the plane really needs it. And honestly, it does look pretty sweet while it snap rolls. If you're new to it, add elevator and aileron with rudder in the direction of the roll. This should be done in a quick, nearly instant stick movement. Draco will respond immediately. Add rudder in the opposite direction to counter it and then push the nose down to recover. This is the easiest way to do a quick roll. So there you have it. Draco gets a solid TwoBros score of 9.5 out of 10, not because it can do all of this amazing stuff, but because it excels at what it was designed to do, being a sporty stall plane that has tons of thrust and looks great in the sky. All of the flight characteristics add to the score and make it a 9.5. Yeah, it's pricey, but you get what you pay for, which is a beautiful replica of Patey's Draco that's durable, well-built, and handles impacts like a champ. I do need to stress that landing gear are not a weak point, even if upgrade kits are sold for it. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to torque roll a Draco for us. The best torque roll posted to our Discord server wins a free TwoBros RC sticker of your choice. Swing by and chat with us.